A quiet decision made in the first few minutes after you wake up can shape the direction of your entire day. Before the world begins asking for your attention, before your phone fills your mind with messages, news, and distractions, there is a small window of time when your brain is highly open to influence. Most people waste that moment without even knowing it. They wake up thinking about problems, unfinished work, stress, fear, or yesterday's mistakes. Those thoughts seem harmless, but they quietly set the emotional tone for everything that follows. One negative thought leads to another. That changes your mood. Your mood affects your choices. Your choices become your habits. Your habits slowly build your future. This happens so naturally that most people never notice it. They spend years wondering why success feels so far away while the real answer has been waiting for them every single morning. The truth is that success does not begin with a lucky opportunity or a perfect plan. It begins with the conversation you have with yourself before anyone else speaks to you. The words you repeat every morning are not just sounds. They become instructions for your mind. They influence what you focus on, how you react to challenges, and whether you move forward or give up when life becomes difficult. Modern psychology has shown that the brain constantly searches for evidence to support the thoughts it hears most often. That means if your mind is filled with doubt, it starts looking for reasons why you cannot succeed. If your mind is filled with purpose, discipline, and confidence, it starts noticing opportunities that were always there but previously ignored. This is one of the hidden reasons why two people can wake up in the same city, face similar situations, and end up living completely different lives. The difference is often not talent, money, or intelligence. The difference is the story they tell themselves every morning. Many of the world's highest achievers understand this principle. They protect their mornings because they know the first few minutes of the day can influence the next several hours. They train their minds before they train their bodies. They build their thoughts before they build their careers. While many people rush into the day carrying fear and excuses, successful people often begin with intention. That small difference repeated over weeks, months, and years creates results that seem almost unbelievable to everyone else. The fascinating part is that your brain is designed to adapt to whatever you repeatedly feed it. Every repeated thought strengthens a mental pathway. Every repeated belief becomes easier to believe again tomorrow. That is why negative thinking becomes a habit, but positive thinking can also become a habit when practiced consistently. This is not about pretending life is perfect. It is not about ignoring problems or hoping that repeating a few words will magically make you successful. Real success has never worked that way. Words alone cannot change your life. But the right words can change your mindset, and the right mindset changes your decisions. Better decisions create better actions. Better actions repeated every day produce extraordinary results over time. This simple chain reaction explains why a few carefully chosen sentences spoken every morning can become far more powerful than most people realize. They remind you who you want to become. They pull your attention away from excuses and back toward responsibility. They replace hesitation with action and fear with determination. That is why today's video is so important. You are about to discover 5 powerful sentences that successful people naturally live by, even if they do not always say them out loud. Each sentence has a deeper meaning than it first appears. Each one trains your mind to think differently. Each one helps you develop habits that lead to confidence, discipline, resilience, and long-term success. More importantly, you will learn why these sentences work, what they do inside your mind, and how repeating them consistently can slowly transform the way you approach every challenge, every goal, and every opportunity. As we move through each sentence, you will begin to notice that they build on one another like pieces of a puzzle. By the end of this video, you will not only know what to say every morning, but you will also understand why these words have the power to influence your behavior throughout the day. The final sentence is often the one people underestimate the most. Yet it has helped countless successful individuals stay focused even when motivation disappeared. Missing it means missing one of the simplest habits that can quietly separate average results from exceptional ones. So stay with me until the very end, because every sentence adds another layer to the mindset that creates lasting success. And together they form a daily routine that can completely change the way you think, act, and respond to life. Welcome to the channel. If you are ready to strengthen your mindset, build better habits, and unlock your true potential one day at a time, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for more powerful lessons that help you become the best version of yourself. Today could be the morning that changes far more than just your day. It could become the beginning of a completely different future. The conversation you have with yourself every morning is called self-talk. It is the quiet voice inside your mind that comments on your life before anyone else does. Sometimes it encourages you. Sometimes it fills you with doubt. Most people never pay attention to it because it happens automatically. Yet this silent conversation has a powerful influence on the direction of your day. If your first thoughts are, I am already tired, this day will be difficult, or nothing ever works out for me, your mind begins searching for evidence to prove those thoughts right. Your energy drops, your confidence becomes weaker. Small problems start feeling much bigger than they really are. But when you begin your morning with thoughts that remind you of your strength, your purpose, and your ability to improve, your brain responds differently. You stand a little taller. You feel more prepared. You become more willing to take action. The outside world has not changed, but your response to it has. That is where real change begins. Every successful person understands that the quality of life is often decided by the quality of thought. Before you can change your future, you must first change the conversation happening inside your own mind. Thoughts are never just thoughts. They create emotions, and emotions influence almost every decision you make. Think about a day when you felt confident. You probably spoke more clearly, solved problems more calmly, and accepted challenges without giving up. Now think about a day when you felt discouraged. Even simple tasks seemed difficult. The same person, the same abilities, but completely different results because the emotions were different. Your emotions act like invisible drivers. They push you toward action or pull you away from it. When your thoughts are filled with hope and determination, your emotions support productive behavior. When your thoughts are filled with fear and doubt, your emotions encourage hesitation. This is why successful people do not wait until they feel confident before taking action. They create thoughts that produce confidence. They understand that the emotional state they build each morning can influence hundreds of decisions throughout the day. One positive decision leads to another. One productive action creates momentum. That momentum becomes progress, and progress creates belief that even bigger goals are possible. Every decision you repeat eventually becomes a habit. The first time you wake up early, it feels difficult. The 10th time becomes easier. The 100th time starts feeling normal. This is how habits are built. They are simply repeated decisions that become automatic. Success is not usually the result of one huge decision. It is built from thousands of small choices made consistently over time. Choosing to read instead of scrolling through endless entertainment. Choosing to exercise instead of staying comfortable. Choosing to finish an important task instead of delaying it again. Each choice may seem too small to matter, but they never stay small. They grow. Every repeated action shapes your character. Every habit slowly changes your identity. After enough repetition, you no longer force yourself to act differently because that behavior becomes part of who you are. This is why your future is quietly being built every single day, even when you cannot see immediate results. The person you become next year is being created by the decisions you make today. Many people look at successful individuals and only notice the visible achievements. They see the business, the healthy body, the confidence, the financial freedom, or the respected career. What they often miss is that every one of those results first existed as a way of thinking. Before success became visible, it was invisible. It existed in the mind as discipline, patience, belief, responsibility, and persistence. A strong building always begins with a strong foundation hidden beneath the ground. Success follows the same principle. Long before anyone notices your progress, your thinking begins to change. You stop making excuses. You become more responsible for your choices. You learn to control your reactions instead of blaming your circumstances. That mental transformation slowly appears in your daily actions, and those actions eventually become results that everyone else can finally see. This is why changing your thinking is never a waste of time. It is the starting point of every meaningful achievement. Science gives us another reason why morning self-talk is so powerful. Your brain has an amazing ability called neuroplasticity. This simply means your brain can change and strengthen itself throughout your life. It is not fixed from birth. Every time you repeat a thought, practice a skill, or learn a new behavior, your brain builds stronger pathways. The more often those pathways are used, the easier they become to follow. Think of walking through a grassy field. The first time is difficult because the grass is tall. After walking the same path every day, a clear trail begins to appear. Your brain works in a similar way. Positive thinking becomes easier when it is repeated. Negative thinking also becomes easier when it is repeated. Your brain does not automatically decide which path is best. It strengthens whichever path you use most often. That is why the words you repeat every morning matter. They are helping your brain decide which mental pathways become stronger over time. Another fascinating part of the brain is called the reticular activating system, often shortened to RAs. It works like a filter. Every second, your senses receive far more information than your conscious mind can process. Your brain chooses what deserves your attention. The RAs helps make that decision. If you decide to buy a certain car, you suddenly begin noticing that model everywhere. Those cars were always there, but now your brain treats them as important. The same thing happens with your goals. When you repeatedly remind yourself that you are disciplined, determined, and focused, your brain starts paying more attention to opportunities that match those beliefs. You notice useful ideas. You recognize valuable conversations. You become more aware of chances to improve yourself. It is not because opportunities magically appear. They were often there all along. Your mind simply becomes better at recognizing them. This is one reason successful people seem to spot possibilities that others completely overlook. At the same time, it is important to understand that affirmations are not magic words. Simply repeating positive sentences while doing nothing will never create lasting success. Success always requires action. Think of affirmations as directions given to your mind. They prepare your thinking, but your actions move you forward. A person who says, "I am becoming healthier," but never exercises or improves their eating habits will not achieve the desired result. A person who says the same words and then makes healthy choices every day is building a powerful connection between belief and behavior. The affirmation strengthens the mindset. The action strengthens the habit. Together, they create real change. This combination is where true transformation begins. Your words guide your focus, and your daily effort turns that focus into visible progress. The first sentence is simple, but incredibly powerful. Today, I choose discipline over excuses. These words remind you that every day presents two options. One option feels easy in the moment, but often leads to regret later. The other feels difficult now, but creates pride and progress in the future. Excuses are attractive because they offer temporary comfort. They tell you that tomorrow will be a better day to start. They tell you that you deserve another break or that your circumstances are too difficult. Discipline speaks differently. It quietly says, take the next step anyway. It does not promise instant rewards. It promises lasting results. Successful people are not free from excuses. They simply refuse to let excuses make their decisions. Every time you choose discipline, you become stronger than the voice asking you to quit. You prove to yourself that your goals matter more than your temporary feelings. That is how confidence is built. Confidence grows when you keep the promises you make to yourself. The greatest achievements rarely happen because of one extraordinary effort. They are usually created by ordinary actions repeated for a long time. Reading 10 pages today may not seem important. Saving a small amount of money today may feel insignificant. Exercising for 20 minutes today may appear too small to matter. Yet when those actions are repeated day after day, month after month, they produce results that surprise everyone. Small actions grow through consistency. They gain strength with repetition. That is why discipline always defeats intensity. Intense effort lasts for a short time. Discipline continues even when excitement disappears. Every morning you choose discipline, you make another small investment in the future version of yourself. The second sentence is, every challenge is making me stronger. Life will always present difficulties. No one escapes disappointment, failure, criticism, or unexpected problems. The difference lies in how people interpret those experiences. Some see every obstacle as proof they should stop. Others see the same obstacle as training for something greater. Every challenge teaches patience, problem solving, emotional control, or courage. Even painful experiences carry valuable lessons if you are willing to learn from them. Many of the strongest people you admire were shaped during their hardest seasons, not their easiest ones. Difficult moments force them to develop qualities they never knew they possessed. Instead of asking why life is difficult, successful people often ask what this experience is teaching them. That single change in perspective transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth. Failure deserves the same attitude. Most people fear failure because they believe it defines them. In reality, failure is information. It shows what needs to improve. Every inventor, athlete, entrepreneur, artist, and leader has failed more times than most people realize. The difference is that they treated failure as education instead of defeat. Every mistake revealed another lesson. Every setback built another layer of experience. When you begin your day by reminding yourself that every challenge is making you stronger, you stop running away from discomfort. You begin using it as fuel for improvement. That mindset creates resilience. And resilience often separates those who succeed from those who quit too early. The third sentence is, I am becoming the person I want to be. Identity is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior. People naturally act in ways that match how they see themselves. If someone believes they are lazy, they will often avoid difficult work because it feels consistent with that identity. If someone believes they are disciplined, they are much more likely to make disciplined choices because those actions support the image they hold of themselves. Your identity shapes your behavior every single day. The exciting part is that identity is not fixed. It changes through repeated actions. Every book you finish, every promise you keep, every healthy choice you make, every skill you practice sends a message to your mind about who you are becoming. Over time, those actions create a stronger and more positive self-image. Instead of waiting until success arrives before believing in yourself, begin acting like the person you want to become today. If you want to become healthier, make the choices a healthy person would make. If you want to become successful, make the decisions a successful person would make. Your actions slowly convince your mind that your new identity is real. Every positive decision becomes another vote for the person you are building. Eventually, those votes become stronger than your old habits. That is when lasting change begins to feel natural rather than forced. The fourth sentence is, I will focus on what I can control. Worry often steals energy without solving any problems. Many people spend hours thinking about things they cannot change. They worry about other people's opinions, yesterday's mistakes, future uncertainty, or events completely outside their control. While they worry, they lose valuable time that could have been used to improve their own lives. Concern and action are not the same. Concern only recognizes a problem. Action begins solving it. Successful people learn to separate these two ideas. They ask themselves a simple question: what can I do right now? If there's an action they can take, they take it. If there's nothing they can control, they let it go and move forward. This habit protects their energy and keeps them focused on progress instead of frustration. Every time you choose productive action over unnecessary worry, you strengthen your ability to stay calm under pressure. Problems no longer control your emotions because your attention stays fixed on solutions. This mindset creates confidence because you know that regardless of the situation, you will always respond with thoughtful action instead of helpless fear. One practical decision made today is always more valuable than an hour spent worrying about tomorrow. The fifth sentence is, I will give my best today. Notice that this sentence does not promise perfection. Perfection is often the enemy of progress because it convinces people not to begin until everything feels ideal. Real success is built by people who keep moving forward despite imperfect conditions. Some days your best will be extraordinary. Other days your best may simply mean refusing to quit. Both kinds of effort matter. Every day offers another opportunity to improve by just a small amount. Those small improvements accumulate quietly until one day they become impossible to ignore. Great lives are rarely built in dramatic moments. They are built in ordinary days filled with consistent effort. When you wake up each morning committed to giving your best instead of chasing perfection, you remove unnecessary pressure and replace it with steady progress. One focused day becomes another, then another. Weeks become months. Months become years. Before long, the ordinary actions that once seemed too small have created an extraordinary life. And it all began with the words you chose to believe before the day had even truly begun. Before you leave today, remember this. Success is not built in one extraordinary morning. It is built in ordinary mornings repeated with extraordinary consistency. The 5 sentences you heard today are more than positive words. They are daily commitments. They remind you to choose discipline instead of excuses, strength instead of fear, growth instead of comfort, action instead of worry, and progress instead of perfection. If you repeat these words every morning and back them with meaningful action, your thinking will begin to change. As your thinking changes, your decisions will improve. Better decisions will create better habits. Better habits will shape a better future. That is how lasting success is created, not through luck, but through the small choices you make every single day. Tomorrow morning, before you check your phone, before you let the world fill your mind with distractions, take just a few moments for yourself. Stand tall, take a deep breath, and say these 5 sentences with confidence. Then go out and prove them with your actions. Days will become weeks. Weeks will become months. And one day you will look back and realize that the life you once dreamed about started with a simple morning routine that almost anyone could do, but very few people stayed consistent enough to follow. The greatest transformation is often invisible at first. No applause, no headlines, no instant rewards, just quiet progress one day at a time. But that quiet progress is what builds extraordinary lives. Keep showing up, keep believing, keep moving forward, even when the results are not yet visible. Your future is being shaped by what you choose to do today. If this video inspired you and gave you a new way to start your mornings, don't keep it to yourself. Help someone else change their life too. Share this video with your friends and family because one positive message can create a ripple effect that reaches far beyond what you can see. And if you want more powerful lessons on mindset, discipline, success, and personal growth, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next video. Also, give this video a like. It really helps the channel reach more people who need this message. Thank you for watching, believing in yourself, and investing in your future. Until next time, remember this. Your best life doesn't begin someday. It begins with the next choice you make. Make it a great one, and we'll see you in the next video.